Y'all ready to learn a little bit more? This is another article I wrote a few days ago, 4 days ago, called A Mirror in the Mist. Rest in peace, Renee Nicole Good. Renee Good reminds me of myself for a few reasons. A mother, a poet, an activist with a hope that her words of witnessing could make a difference and shape awareness and intellectuality as she approached human-drenched topics like love, loss, life, and death, and the cycling through each of them. There is a specific kind of burden carried by those who feel the vibration of the world's pain through the ink of their pens. Like Renee, I view the world not as a series of static events, but as a fluid motion of experiences that require a witness, someone to stand in the gap and say, I see this, it matters. To be a mother is to nurture the future. To be a poet is to preserve the soul. And to be an activist is to protect both. I too share this trait. It is an inherent drive to synthesize the chaos around me into something meaningful, even when the environment feels increasingly inhospitable to grace. I am often an unseen force that trickles through, hoping my impact is positive and using my wisdom to share information with the world while doing everything I can to never allow the hatred of the world to seep into mine. It is a delicate balance, a constant filtration system of the spirit. I have learned that to be effective, one must remain untainted by the very darkness they seek to illuminate. I strive to be the change I want to see beyond the superficiality. I want to be that person, not because of the glory or fame that heroism brings, but because it is the innate truth of my heart and soul. There is no ego in this pursuit, only the quiet, steady pulse of a calling that refuses to be silenced by the roar of the crowd. I sensed that was the same for Renee, and it easily could become me at any time now that we have arrived at this place of lawless propaganda and insanity, where high schoolers are traumatized by a force so evil, so obvious, that it seems as if the entire story is being scripted by a horror novelist. We live in an era where the unthinkable has become the evening news and a daily occurrence, and the innocence of the next generation is being bartered for political theater. Think about that. The script is jagged, filled with jump scares and hollowed out truths that leave us gasping for air, quite literally these days. They just tear gassed a car with a 6-month-old baby in it with zero remorse. Not to mention that they also pew-pewed someone in the leg as well. So now we have, a week later, another pew-pewing incident. Again, this is in Minneapolis. When the institutions meant to protect us become the primary sources of our collective anxiety, the role of the poet activist transforms from a choice into a necessity for survival. As nightmares continue to surround me in the daily, dreams are the hope that rise up amidst the central arc in this tale, and I wonder to myself, what comes next? Where we are currently navigating this rising action of a historical climax where the tension between our highest ideals and our lowest impulses has reached a breaking point. Who is next, and how do we get through this to see any hope for humanity come through these epically dark and brutally torrential storm clouds? The air is thick with the scent of ozone and the weight of impending rain, making it difficult to find the North Star. We look to one another, searching for a glimmer of recognition, a sign that the good hasn't been entirely extinguished by the gale-force winds of modern upheaval. To find that hope, we must look toward the quiet, persistent work of those who refuse to be moved. It is found in the way a mother consoles a child after a lockdown drill, or the way a poet finds the right word to describe an unspeakable grief. The resilience is the bridge we must cross. It requires us to abandon the comfort of the sidelines and accept the storm we will not pass on its own. We must become the architects of the clearing, the ones who hold the line when the structures of old begin to crumble under the weight of their own corruption. All good has gone from America. Evil is all that remains, and for evil to succeed, it requires only one thing: for good people to do nothing. That realization is the catalyst. If the landscape appears barren of virtue, it is because virtue has been driven underground, waiting for the brave to call it forth. We cannot afford the luxury of silence or the safety of apathy. Like Renee, we must use our witnessing as a weapon against the dark, ensuring that the cycle of life and love eventually overtakes the cycle of death. This story is not over yet, but the ending depends entirely on our willingness to speak. So speak, scream, and use that rage to become courageous, because that is the backbone of America being the home of the brave.